And then I thought, well, weightlifting sounds pretty good. And I turned up back in weightlifting, and I ended up. It was before the Pacific Games in '91, and both my brother and I were going for the heavyweight spot, and he under pressure would collapse. He was stronger than me, but under pressure he lost it. So we had a competition, and I beat him. I beat him in that competition mainly because he just collapsed under pressure. And then he traveled away and he came back and he found out that he was dropped on the PNG team. And then I moved in and got the heavyweight spot, which I feel sorry for him. But thankfully, my father thought on his feet and contacted Tonga and said, you have a weightlifter here who really lifts well and could get you a medal, and can he be put on the team? The guy said, yeah, great idea, because it cost us nothing. He's in PNG already. So it became a story of the 91 games, two brothers lifting for two different countries. And they had us in our uniform in a big article in the paper, looking at each other, sort of holding a 5 kilo weight and grabbing it and looking at each other, trying to look mean at each other.
Wow.
So he had the Tongan gear on and I had the PNG gear on. But yeah, that was quite amazing. But from there, I won the bronze medal at that time for PNG. But there, as I was telling you about this breathing technique, they had put out a book before the games, and they talked about the breathing, but also to visualize. And such a big part of my teaching too is to for people to see themselves doing it, walk through, feel those nerves, and calm them. So all the aspects, like for us in weightlifting, was the training. Then if you had to fly, you had to fly, right? Then there's a change in time zone if it's international. You have to anticipate that. The food, traveling diarrhea and all the other unpleasantness of the traveling, and then and getting your time right. Then you turn up to the competition, and then you got to see the cameras in your face. You got to see your competitors eyeing you off. You got to see the numbers on the board that they're putting up against you. All those pressures come along. If you never anticipate that, you're in trouble. And then if you miss a lift, you only got 3 chances on the snatch, 3 on the clean and jerk. Now, if you miss one, the first lift is your most important to land. That builds you for the second lift because you go higher and you go third and finish off with a big hurrah. And if you miss that first one, boy, oh boy, it's a big mountain to climb, mentally and everything. And so everything worked for me that time. I missed the golds in the snatch, and I got the bronze. I think two bronzes or one bronze at the time. And the clean and jerk went well, and I had got into the breathing as I explained to Tar.
Yeah. Can
And
you just kind of walk
yeah,
us through that?
yeah. So I would walk up, I would do the focusing thing, and I would just sit there and just do my belly breathing. And the belly breathing, the idea is to take the tension away from the shoulders. So you cannot belly breathe with the shoulders moving or the chest moving. It's really just pushing your belly out. It protrudes out. So it's like, so I'm taking a deep breath now, and there's no movement of my shoulders or my chest, and singers do it, actors do it, just helps them relax. But when you sing, it also comes up from there, the power, and also the way to hang on to notes and don't die out before you're supposed to end. It all comes from that diaphragmatic breathing. So I would do the 3 breaths, and I tell you, I have never experienced that feeling of peace. And I described it the other night to someone else as though it was as though I had locked everything in. I was a coiled spring, ready for action. Every part of me was ready, but I was so relaxed. And all I could hear when I set to lift the weight was my heart beating predominantly. I just feel it beating, and I was just in my own space. And then the voice of my coach or the crowd, come on, Moni. And my coach saying, Moni, 30 seconds, get the weight off the floor. He was starting to panic. And I was at peace. And they seemed so far away. And the most surprising thing is the weight was above my head, and I don't know how I got it there. And I thought, wow, it's up, stand up. You know, I was in a squat position. I'm thinking, stand up, everyone's cheering, you know. And you stand up. I thought, how did that happen? And it just blows me. I mean, the power of the mind. And when you recruit all the muscles you need to do the job, it's just effortless when you get into that space, you know. And I'd heard of people trying to do that hypnobirthing, same principle, except they didn't realize that it has to be practiced and practiced and practiced. These things don't happen overnight.